welcome to another session on Ways with Words. We shall continue with the poem. We stopped with the line, destroy their sleeping, the ancient way. So, as a recap, there's a roadside stand put up by a small-time farmer. He intends to earn money, but he tries to, so the first half or the first half of the poem, the farmer, through a dramatic monologue, tells us of the problems faced by the villagers in the village. And also he very clearly tells us the attitude of the city dwellers. The city dwellers, they are arrogant, they are insensitive to the feelings of the village folks. Not just that, he also tells us a little more about, or he comes to the theme, or slowly comes to the theme of the poem, that's urbanization. There's a rumor that these people are going to be relocated, and the politicians as well as the intermediaries, they have a role to play in keeping these country people away from what is rightful to them. That is, they whatever rights that they are to get, that's denied to them. Not just that, these people, they encroach upon their land, dislocates them and leaves them with money that they feel, the villagers feel, that would give them heaven, that would give them paradise. But it's just for a short while. Soon they will lose, or this money will be exhausted, and again they are plunged into poverty, and the only land that they had is lost to them. And now they have become lazy, they don't even know how to work. The city money, or the money that was given to them by these greedy good doers, has made them totally lose their ancient traditional way of life, simple living. And now they are totally lost. They are having lost their land and having their money completely exhausted. They do not know what to do. So the only next step to them is to take their own lives, or to relocate to other cities and towns and live a pathetic life. So we stop there. And now the next half of the poem. Here you will find that the voice merges or changes from that of the farmer to that of the poet. Robert Frost now speaks to us. Earlier it was the farmer who was talking to us. So see, remember, Frost is both a farmer and a poet. So both the personas are there inside this poem. So both the Frost as a farmer and Frost as a poet. So till the first half you had Frost as a farmer talking to us, or a farmer's perspective, whereas now you have the Frost as a poet addressing us and telling us of the pathetic conditions that these farmers or these village folks lead. So let's continue. Sometimes I feel myself I can hardly bear the thought of so much childish longing in vain, the sadness that lurks near the open window there, that waits all day in almost open prayer. For the squeal of brakes, the sound of a stopping car, of all the thousand selfish cars that pass, just one to inquire what a farmer's prices are. So here, Frost then speaks about his personal feelings. He says that he can hardly bear the thought, or he feels sad about these problems, pathetic condition of these farmers. And the moment they listen to the squeal of the horn of a car, the sound of a car, or the horn of a car, the honking of a car, then they suddenly rush to the window to find if it is a customer who have stopped in the road in their house or stopped by to purchase something from this roadside stand. But the moment the farmer goes out, he understands that these cars they stop here not for making a purchase, but for other things otherwise, either for turning the car or reversing the car, or for asking the direction, or asking them if they could sell them a gallon of gas instead of petrol. In the word petrol, in America the word is gas. So they would ask whether they could sell them a gallon of gas, and they actually don't stop to buy any of these purchase from these people. So what happens is, the farmer, when he rushes to the window with the hope that there is a customer coming to buy something from him and he can make an extra income out of it, or he will get extra money, that hope is lost. His hopes are dashed to the ground. The open window of the farmer's houses seem, it's like personified. The houses of the farmer is like, it is as though it is personified. The houses seem to be waiting. The windows are like the eyes of the farmer. They seem to be waiting for a customer, or they seem to be waiting all day just to hear the sound of a car stopping to make a purchase. However, they are always disappointed. A vehicle, if at all a vehicle does stop, it is just to inquire. Simply they would just, for the sake of inquiring, not intending to buy anything, they would just stop there and ask all the prices of these vegetables and fruits and squash or paintings that are kept on sale, and then they would not make a purchase, and they feel that it is too expensive or it's not good enough for them, and they would just go. And remember, these people are ready to spend as much or as they want in a supermarket. They are ready to pay all the tax and GST and everything just to get these fruits and vegetables, which are in fact filled with all these pesticides. But here there is a farmer who has grown all these in his field without the use of any pesticides, naturally grown vegetables that are kept here, and that too at a very reasonable price, and that too handful. It's not handful, a handy quantity, whereas in the supermarket you get only a handful of these quantities and they charge you a lot of money. So they are not ready to part with their money to a poor farmer, and they just stop here just to ask the farmer's price. And then, the price of the farmer's price here is a reference to the price of these vegetables and fruits and things that are kept on sale. And or it would be just to reverse the car. And what happens while they reverse the car? For the squeal of brakes, the sound of a stopping car, of all the 1,000 selfish cars that pass. Again, there is a transferred epithet there. 1,000 selfish cars. 1,000 selfish cars. I told you what transferred epithet is. Selfish cars. Now here, selfish cars again is a reference to whom? A reference to these city dwellers. And so of all these 1,000 cars, 1,000 selfish cars, these people, these city dwellers, just one or two would, if at all, stop. They would just stop to inquire the prices of these vegetables and fruits, or otherwise one did stop, but only to plow up grass. So why did he stop? He stopped only to plow up grass. What do you mean by plow up grass? The farmer's grass or the garden is all spoilt now, because this man has stopped the car only to reverse his car. അപ്പോൾ ആ റിവേഴ്സ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ആ ഒരു സമയത്ത് അയാളുടെ ഫാമറിൻ്റെ കർഷകൻ്റെ ആ വീടിൻ്റെ ഫ്രണ്ടിലുള്ള ആ പുല്ല് അത് മൊത്തം it is all destroyed. He plows up all the grass and leaves even the lawn of the farmer is destroyed. Not just that he has destroyed the hopes of the farmer, but his lawn is also, or his garden is also destroyed by these people who have stopped to reverse the car. So to plow up to plow up the grass is a reference to reversing the car. And in using the yard to back and turn around. So, and one did stop, but only to plow up the grass. For what? In reversing the car, in using the yard of the farmer to back and turn around, to reverse the car. So what happens in this process is the grass or the garden or the lawn of the farmer is spoiled. And another, if at all there's another who did stop, he would have stopped only to ask where it was bound, what was bound, where this road was bound, where is this road heading to. That means he would ask, or he would stop only to ask for directions. And another to ask, could they sell it a gallon of gas. So another would stop just if they might have run out of petrol. Another word for petrol is gas. That is used in America. It is in Britain that we use petrol, and in America it is gas. The word used is gas. So a gallon of gas. They may have run out of petrol, so they would have stopped here at the farmer's house to ask him a gallon of gas. They couldn't, this crossly. They had none, didn't it see? So again, it's like an insult. What do you mean to stop here to ask for a gallon of gas? Can't you see this is just a small time farmer? He doesn't even own a house. He doesn't even own a car. And how can he be having petrol or having gas? Yes, so he didn't. And besides, what is he selling in the roadside stand? Is he selling a gallon of gas there? No, of course not. Can't you see that they don't have gallon of gas? And why do you stop to ask a gallon of gas? That's what Frost asked, the poet asked. Crossly means angrily. The poet is angry. Robert Frost, as a poet, he becomes very angry at this very insensitive and very arrogant nature of these city dwellers. So he gets very irritated and he says, can't you see that they don't have any gallon of gas to sell? They hardly make a living. And what do you mean? What luxury? Leave alone a gallon of gas. They don't even have a car. They don't even have, they are just making enough money to meet their ends. So can't you see? That's what the poet asks. No, they couldn't, this crossly. They had none, didn't it see? That's what he says. Then, no, in country money, the country's scale of gain, the requisite lift of spirit has never been found. Or so the voice of the country seems to complain. I can't help owning the great relief it would be to put these people at one stroke out of their pain, and then next day as I come back into the same, I wonder how I should like you to come to me and offer to put me gently out of my pain. So here things get more personal. Frost becomes really sad, emotionally charged. Frost tells his readers about the disappointments that the village folks often have to face face because of these city dwellers. He says that business is not very lucrative, it's not very productive, as if you compare the city dwellers, what the farmer here is leading a very simple, very humble life. He is trying his level best to meet his daily needs, and so therefore there is a difference between his counterpart, and that is the city dwellers, the way they live. There is great evidence to support this, because if you look at the lifestyle of the city dwellers and if you look at the lifestyle of the village folks, you will understand that they cannot afford even the slightest of luxury or slightest of of comfort that these city dwellers live. And therefore they have to work very hard, and only then will they be able to lead at least, or not a better life, at least they would be able to meet their daily or basic needs. But the city dwellers, they don't even care about this. And besides, as I told you, both the city people or the city dwellers as well as the country side villagers, both of them they pay tax. But where do all these tax go? These taxes go to the betterment of the cities. And the village is left with nothing at all. There is hardly any good hospitals or good schools where or any basic, not even a proper police station or a proper place where justice can be served. So none of this is this happens in the countryside. So that's what he says. Know in country money the country scale of gain. So here the country scale of gain is a reference to business not being productive. Agriculture, it is agriculture or farming, and therefore farming or agriculture is not a very lucrative or productive business. The requisite lift of spirit has never been found. What do you mean by requisite lift of spirit? That is a cheerful lift of spirit is cheerful mental condition. So requisite cheerful the condition or the requisite lift of spirit here, that is a cheerful, happy condition in which that they could live, that they could lead their life or live, is never found here, because they are trying to meet their ends. They are trying to meet their daily, or they're trying to make things work and meet the basic amenities in life, because they are trying to meet their ends meet. And how can you even think of luxury? So here requisite lift of spirit is a reference to luxury which the city dwellers enjoy, and which is never enjoyed or never understood or tasted by the country side people or the villagers. Or so the voice of the country seems to complain. So this is the complaint perhaps the villagers have to tell the city dwellers. So they are when the city people they bathe in luxury, the village, his own fellow being from the countryside are left with nothing. They often have to starve, and they don't have any basic amenities in life. I can't help owning the great relief it would be to put these people at one stroke out of their pain. And then next day as I come back into the sane, I wonder how I should like you to come to me and offer to put me gently out of my pain. Now here, Frost is emotionally charged. I did tell you that there were problems, that problems or the mental problems that run in the family. He was a very depressed person. And often he was emotionally charged and frustrated. Therefore, looking at the condition of this of the country side people or the villagers, he's frustrated. He's annoyed and irritated. He's frustrated by the pain and anguish of the villagers, and therefore Frost comes out like a madman, like an insane man. That's why he says, and when he comes back to the sane. So at this point, he's insane. So later he says, and the next day as I come back into the sane. Sane means normal. In a normal state. So what happens here is insanity. So next day only he is becoming sane. So this time now he is emotionally charged. He's so angry, so mad that he feels that the only way, he makes a shocking revelation in these lines here. He feels that there is only one solution, and that solution alone can work, and that is to put an end to these villagers permanently, to kill the villagers permanently, instead of killing them like this, instead of using this urbanization, because urbanization is indeed a form of killing. Because what happens, it is a metaphorical way. In a metaphorical way, if you look at urbanization, it is the death of what? Village. Growth of city at the cost of village. Analo. Apo when the villages, when the cities grow, it is the death of the countryside or the village. Clear? So here he says, instead of killing them like this, why don't you just completely wipe them out? There shouldn't be any villagers. Let's just let all the villagers be wiped out from this whole world as such, and then you will be happy. Right? So this is actually a concept of euthanasia. In fact, this poem was termed a roadside stand euthanasia. In the beginning, when Frost wrote this poem, he wrote it as a roadside stand euthanasia. But then later he changed the title, he cut off euthanasia. And what is euthanasia? Euthanasia means mercy killing. That is something, death that is administered to those who are terminally ill. There is no hope for them. There is no hope for them in life. That is like cancer patients and all who are terminally ill, and there is those in a coma state who's battling, who's dangling between life and death, and there's no comeback. The brain is dead, and all those problems. Once the brain is dead, even the other parts of the body, at least you can recover, but brain cells once dead, it is dead. You can't. It doesn't regrow. You know that, no? Regenerate. So. Such people, there is no chance of life at all. So to them, euthanasia, if the relatives are willing, and if the patient, like for instance cancer patients and all, they are terribly ill and they want something of this sort, then it is done with the permission from the patient as well as the relatives. So euthanasia means mercy killing. So here he states that. So it is for this reason that he tried to name his poem a roadside stand euthanasia, but then later he changed it. So here, but when he that is and then next day as I come back into the sane. So the next morning when I wake up, when I'm not mad, when I'm now calm and in a very peaceful state, I just think about what I said yesterday, what I wrote yesterday, or what I thought yesterday. Yesterday's thoughts, I know, is too too eccentric kind of thought. I shouldn't have thought like that, but I was only trying to help them to ease their pain. Okay, and so he admits that he was convinced that the only way to help them was this, from this deep disappointment and deep sorrow that they always have to face in the hands of the city dwellers and the hands of these politicians. The only way would be to wipe them out completely. But there is another view also. This is very kind of a little ambiguous. It has multiple meanings here. Another view holds that Frost is talking about euthanasia symbolically. So euthanasia, as I told you, is administered here or is used here in the sense of urbanization. Urbanization, as of when cities grow, there it is the death. It is like administering a mercy killing or knowingly killing the village. So the cities grow at the cost of the villages. So cities, when they grow, they will eventually empower and finally obliterate or destroy the rural areas and also its life completely. So therefore, he uses this term euthanasia symbolically. Okay. So in other words, the growth of cities will bring about the death of the countryside. So cities will prevail, and along with the city dwellers. But what happens to the rural areas? The rural areas, the village will die, and along with it will the villagers also. They are dislocated, they don't have any place. So in a way, you are like killing them. Okay, so this word euthanasia is used here symbolically. So it's like a mercy killing administered on these people. So anyway, last few lines. And then next day, as I come back into the scene, I wonder how I should like you to come to me and offer to put me out of my pain, gently put me out of my pain. So here the poet concludes the poem, and thankfully Frost tells us that tells us what happened when common sense prevailed. When common sense prevailed, when he came back to his senses, he realizes the shocking remark that he himself made, or the shocking thought that he had in his mind the previous day. And he tells us that, how would I like if somebody is to come to me and I'm suffering terribly, and somebody is to come to me and tell me the only way to get rid of all these problems is to kill you. How would I stand it? How would I like? So then he realizes, or he tells us the conclusion. He tells us that this is not a solution, and the poem thereby ends with an open-ended note. So it's like he does not conclude it at all. He leaves it to the audience to get an answer. He does not, though he concludes the poem, he leaves it open-ended. And that means we readers can come up with different solutions, or we can come up with different ways of ending the poem or thinking about what Frost may have intended. And therefore, the future is left to the city dwellers to decide how they are going to deal with such a problem, and how the government is going to confront such a problem.